Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. In this video, after we set up our IP address and our systems, we have awesome systems. Oh, I forgot to tell you something. I'm really sorry. The host names are still the same. So all we have to do to change the host name is we have to vi etc host name file. So this will actually change the host name. So execute it on both the system and change the host name to worker 1 here, and you can change this to worker 2. So just control D and then just come back to sudo su and then type kube as password, and you should change it back to, oh, it's still like that. Okay, so just try 1 second. I'll just tell you the host name is worker 2. Yeah, it's changed now. So just execute this command. Host name is worker 1. So now, why it didn't pick up before is because we have to do a reboot to get that host name set it up. But this command will enable you for this session. But then as we have made an entry on this host file as well, so this will become permanent also. So don't worry about that. So if you reboot it next time, it will be the proper host name. All right, so now we have the worker 1, worker 2 temporarily aligned, and also we have made a permanent entry, so we can proceed with this particular topic, which is basically integrating or creating your master and integrating your worker nodes with your manager node. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to execute a command, but before I execute it, make sure that the Docker service is started. So use the command service docker start. Now this command is going to execute and start this Docker service. Now you should see the Docker service is running right now. Now once you have the Docker service running, you can initiate the connection with the server. So for example, first get the IP address. You want to use this IP address to initiate on this IP address. Okay, so we're going to use an internal bond between these 3 servers with an individual network. So we're going to use that IP address. So docker swarm init. So here I'm initializing. There are a few commands here like docker swarm init, docker swarm join, docker swarm leave. Right. So you need us to initialize master node or a manager node. So that is when you write the docker swarm init. You write docker swarm join in case if you want to join a slave node or a worker node to the master node, you use the docker swarm join. If you want that particular server to leave the existing communication with the swarm, then you use docker swarm leave. So these are 3 different commands. You have another command also which we will talk while going forward. Here -advertise -addr. So here advertise is going to advertise this particular IP address and the port number, the default port number. So here I'm going to use the IP address which is defined over here. So this is going to be this one. So in my document also I've changed it to this IP address. Please make sure that you do verify this IP address before you hit enter on this IP address. All right, so now you don't have to mention the 2377 port number here. It is by default taken. So just give an enter and you will see that it has got a node name over here, and this is basically the manager. Now to see all the nodes part of your swarm, just type docker nodes ls. Node ls. So you can see that currently this particular is the only node which is available. Now what you need to do is you can copy this command, which is docker swarm join, with the token and the token ID. So the token option enables you to type the token ID. This is a unique ID created at the time of initializing. And this ID will be used for authentication when someone joins the master. So it basically authenticates itself as this is a slave which is joining, a worker which is joining the master, and this is going to be the IP address of your master, and the port number of your advertised port number. So this is very important information. If you have lost this information, that's not a problem. You can use join-token and then give worker here. So this token will be regenerated here. It's called SWM token, meaning it's a swarm token, and the token ID is mentioned here. So if you have not noted it, you can still generate it by using this Docker Swarm join token worker. Now, if you want to add another manager as a failover, you can remove this worker and put manager over here, and you will get a token for the manager. Now, the token will be little different from the worker token. You can see that there's a change over here. So this will be adding as a failover manager as part of this particular swarm. So we will copy this one, which is used for creating the worker node. So let's copy paste it on both the servers, and you can see a simple output here. This node has joined a swarm as a worker, and this node has joined as a swarm as a worker. The important thing you should know is that the commands like node ls, docker swarm, and then docker service, which I will talk momentarily, is all some administrative commands which can only work from your master node. It will not be working from your slave node. So from the slave nodes, you will not be able to see all the information which the master is providing. So do remember that's the difference. So if you can see the same command output over here, docker node ls, you can see that you have a node name or a node ID, the host name, and the status of your service, availability, which is the leader, and the engine number. The star represents you are in this manager. If you have multiple managers and you're executing this command from another manager, like manager 2, the star represents that you are in that particular manager node. So that's what it is. The star is representing. Let's just say, for example, now that the Docker is stopped, right? I'm issuing a Docker command stop. Now, how would you think it is going to reflect here? Just give it a couple of seconds, and you can see that there is a change in your status here of that particular node. So you can see that after 5 to 10 seconds, you can see it realizes that this particular work node is down and the status is updated with down. So when you start that particular worker node, Docker service, then it realizes the service has come back and it is ready right now. Now, you may ask me a question, why it took so much time for it to go down, but it came up suddenly, immediately up. Well, so when a status has been realized that it has gone down, it has a retry of some milliseconds. So what it does is like it does the check 3 times in a row, and all the 3 times it has failed, then it will mark it as down, because there could be some network latencies and disruptions which could delay the result. So that's why it waits for some time before it declares itself as down. And when it keeps on scanning for every some milliseconds by default, and then the moment it understands it down, there is no methodology, or there is no number of times it would scan to say it's up. It will immediately, if it sees it's up, it immediately declares that up. That's the difference between going down and coming up. So these are something which you will understand more or less in my trainings, because I do with real-time questions and real-time scenarios. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Now we have connected our their work nodes with our master, more troubleshooting and more instance creation on the next video. Thank you again for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one.